Seconds Out is here with Frank Warren after a pretty great card. Can you tell us a little bit about the drama with the Eubanks Jr fight?
Yeah, we had a problem with the officials. The contract said we would have neutral officials subject to board approval, and the board wanted to appoint a couple of British officials, so it got quite difficult. The Russians weren't prepared to stand for that, and so we got really up until the last probably an hour before the fight, and the Russians were still refusing to accept that Terry O'Connor was going to be refereed. If it hadn't been for Robert Smith and Mick Collier, doing what they did, the fight had been called off.
And we just discovered that you and Chris Eubanks Sr had kept Junior in the dark about this.
Yeah, well, fighters don't want to know about the nonsense. It's bad enough they got to focus on the fight, and that's why I was really disappointed it took so long to get it done, because it wasn't fair on the fighters, and they only need to get a sort of an inkling of that, and then suddenly their mind's not on their job. And it's a tough business being a boxer, and also it's unfair on the fans, because how would we have explained that one away? The ball was digging their feet in, but as I say, Robert did what he did, and common sense prevailed, and we moved on. And now we've got British
technical world champion.
Yeah, so we're pleased with that, and as they say, onwards and upwards. Thanks, John. Safe journey home. Thank you.
Less pressured up now. Pressured before.
Can we assume that the next step for Chris Jr would be getting the regular WBA belt?
Well, that or a rematch with Bill. Or,
well, that's assuming that, because Billy's got his fight.
So it's a but I'd like by the end of the year that those two guys get it on.
Because if he gets the regular one and Billy wins his next fight, there could be a unification bout, couldn't there?
And that would be a good thing for us to do, or to happen. And fingers crossed by the end of the year we get that on.
It's Britain's strongest division, and it's one of the strongest ones globally.
It's always has been for us, hasn't it? We've always had good middleweights, super middleweights, and fingers crossed we can move forward on it, and we can see who's, at the moment Bill's the best man, because Bill's got the win over him, so it'd be nice to get it back on that fight again. I know Bill wants it. I know Bill wants the fight as well.
And let's talk about Fury quickly. This was keeping the rust off.
It was, but the guy was ranked number 3, and he come to fight. He showed a lot of heart. I think Tyson, as he was saying at the press conference, I think he actually boxed well. He contained himself. He didn't take. I think they caught one shot, but he done what he had to do. That fight now will happen. Providing Klitschko comes through against Jennings, or whoever wins the fight, then September we'll be looking to do that, and we'll be pressing hard to make it in the UK, because it makes sense to do it here.
Final question. Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Your pick and why?
His favourite at the moment is the Floyd Mayweather, and you've got, at the moment that's where you got to go. But it's a funny thing with fights like this, because they're quite meaningful fights. Obviously, it's been a long time in the making, and people say that Manny Pacquiao's not the fighter he was, and maybe you get people saying Floyd Mayweather slips, which I don't quite believe. But the bottom line of it is, when you get a special fight, they find something else within them, and I think it's going to be quite a good fight to watch for the fans. And I have to make Floyd Mayweather the favourite, but I've got to tell you something. I think Manny Pacquiao fancies the job, and I think we see something a little bit special, or I hope we see something special on the night.